Hi, I'm Penny Dix, Astro Coach. Welcome to tonight's in-depth look at the new moon in Cancer, which is happening this Saturday, which is July the 10th. And first of all, thank you so much for joining me. And I'd also like to say, before I give you all that insight into what this Cancerian new moon is going to bring for you, I want to say thank you so much to the people that do join me for these and follow me on YouTube, and all the people who have recently subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. If you haven't already subscribed, I would really love it if you could do that. So thank you in advance. Also, if you would like a one-to-one for Astro coaching with me, then why don't you check out my new website? It's just been relaunched, it's been revamped, it's pretty cool looking. I'm really super pleased with it. So check that out on www.pennydix.com. So now let's move on to what this moon is all about. And just one more thing before I start. Yes, another thing. I'm trying out a new, like one of these microphones. If you can't hear me, please let me know, because I'm trying it out so that we can use it when we do the live full moons outside in the open air. So if you can't hear me or the sound sounds strange, please let me know, because I can see your little comments coming up on my news feed here on the video. Okay, so let's go on to the new moon. This is a new moon in Cancer. Cancer is a beautiful, warm, nurturing and loving sign. It's also, interestingly, quite private. Maybe in a sense a little bit secretive, a little bit like Scorpio, but Cancer likes to bring in, it likes to hold on to, it nurtures, it caresses. So this new moon is very much family orientated, and it's very much relates to the home and where you live, what you might be doing at home. So bear that in mind as I talk about the energies that we've got. It is another transformational new moon, and it's interesting because there's been a lot of activity with the planet Pluto that is now retrograde in Capricorn, and Pluto comes center stage again with this new moon in an opposition to the new moon in Cancer. So before I go on to talk about that, I just want to say transformational growth comes at a price, but it's so worth it. So it takes place, this new moon, on Saturday, July the 10th, in the early hours of the morning, Central European Daylight Time. If you're watching from somewhere else in the world, then you'll have to adjust that to sort of fit in with the particular time zone that you live in. And it takes place at 3:15 in the morning here in the Mediterranean. So new moons, as you know, always bring us opportunities for new beginnings, for growth. And this particular new moon has these, as I said earlier, challenging but transformational opportunities for personal growth. Because the presence of retrograde Pluto in Capricorn opposing this new moon in Cancer. And if you do have a new moon, or if you do have your moon in your birth chart in Cancer, or your sun in the sign of Cancer, or your ascendant in Cancer, then this particular new moon is going to very much affect you and give you some lovely opportunities for transformational growth. And really, you know, with this Pluto opposition in Capricorn, what it tells me is that anything that has outworn its relevance in your life really needs to be voluntarily let go of. You know, we know growth is always painful. If there are areas of your life that have become stuck, stagnant, just kind of closed doors everywhere, just not really what you want, then you need to allow this new moon energy to strip away what no longer serves you. Because it feels to me with this energy that it's far better to let go voluntarily of what has gone past its sell-by date, to allow the new to come in. And it's also true, I think, that if we try to hold on to the past and we kind of go, no, 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 la, 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 I don't want to let go, I like it where it was, then, and that is, of course, quite Cancerian. Cancerians hold on to. Then it means that the stripping away of what needs to go is far more painful. So it's always best when we're in a situation where we can see that it is time to move on from a situation, from anything that's happening in our lives. You know, I'm thinking on a grander scale as well. If we think of what, you know, in the UK, for example, there, the sort of the health department and the government are deciding to somehow, you know, have this Freedom Day. And that's all well and good, but, you know, I still say everything comes at a cost. But time will tell. Now, also with this particular new moon, we have Neptune in Pisces, who is now retrograde, but making the most beautiful trine aspect to this new moon. Now, a trine, which means it's like that kind of angle, is really, really helpful and positive. And I think because it's Cancer, because Neptune is in Pisces and Neptune can be about dreams, it can also be illusion. I just feel that the new moon is giving us the opportunity to dream situations into our life that make us feel safe, loved, and truly at home. Cancer is also about family. But as you know, family isn't always our blood relatives. It's also very good friends, and they're often better family for us sometimes than our blood relatives. But family, whatever sort of form that takes, can be your pets. I have 5 cats. They are my family. And the love and the support that we all give each other is just wonderful. But family will be hugely supportive at this time with this new moon. And I just want to say also that sometimes, because we have got planets going retrograde at the moment, and I'm going to talk a lot more about that when I do August astrology. Yes, I'm already thinking about August astrology, when I will talk about the retrograde planets, and that'll be up on YouTube in about 10 days time. I've just got to record it first. But sometimes we feel as if we're going backwards because things don't work out and everything kind of just doesn't work, and we become quite fearful. But what we don't realize is that when it's a bit like pulling a string back on a bow. When planets go retrograde, it's like we're actually being propelled forward into the life and the place that we're meant to be. Now there's another aspect with this new moon, which is the wounded healer, the asteroid Chiron. Chiron is the centaur. Now Chiron in Aries is making quite a challenging square to this new moon. And I just think this shows how deeply some of us have been wounded on quite a deep feeling level. And that's very Cancerian as well. It's all emotion. But the warm and nurturing energy brought in from the sign of Cancer shows us, I feel, that we must also show ourselves compassion and love and be kind to ourselves, because sometimes the way we treat ourselves, we'd never dream of being so harsh to others. And another important energy that's happening around the time of this new moon, we have a conjunction of the planets Venus, which is the planet of relationships and love, and Mars, our god of action, energy, assertion, sexuality. So this rather spicy connection is in the sign of fiery Leo. And it could really be quite combustible. But it's around this new moon, so if there's anything you want to initiate in terms of relationships, it could be quite an interesting energy to sow those seeds, okay, even if it's just a dream. And the other, the perhaps not so good side is that we could see each other getting quite hot under the collar about all sorts of things. And because Uranus, our planet in Taurus of the unexpected and change and disruption and rebellion, is making a hard angle, a square to both these planets, there could be a little bit of disruptive energy about. So you need, working up to this new moon and around the energy of this new moon, just resist the urge to blow your top unless you're prepared for the consequences. Retrograde Saturn in Aquarius is also in opposition to Mars and Venus in Leo. So this is like a kind of what we call a T-square. And basically what it's doing is it's urging caution and for us to slow down. And I think if we think on a bigger kind of scale, with the virus and the pandemic, I think, you know, it's interesting hearing the UK government talking about the need for personal responsibility. And I absolutely agree with that. I think there has got to be a large amount of personal responsibility and being sensible and using common sense in how we handle the way forward with this pandemic. And this new moon gives us a lovely opportunity to do that. But I do think there's still going to be some false starts, slowdowns, and maybe with travel. And because Mercury, that's currently in Gemini, that it rules, is squaring retrograde Neptune in Pisces. Now, this is quite an interesting one, because we could hear some news that's kind of been kept under wraps, and it comes to the surface, a bit like when we had the Matt Hancock affair. But this is something else, and it would be difficult to tell whether it's truth or lies, smoke or mirrors. And that might also happen in your own personal lives. So, you know, just be careful who you give your confidences to. So, what I want to say is healing can come collectively if we all take responsibility for our own inner healing first. Now I'm going to move on to your individual signs and just have some water. Right, so I'm just going to take one aspect because I think it's nice to just focus on one aspect for the new moon rather than confuse the equation with lots of stuff. So Aries, this new moon for you is in Cancer, right in the area of your chart that is connected with home. And it has this beautiful aspect to Neptune in Pisces, which is your 12th house. So what does this mean? I think it means that it feels to me as if you're going to start coming into your own. You're going to come into the light. You're going to feel much better about things. There could literally be a new start in your life with this new moon in Cancer. And there may be fears and anxieties about it, but actually, you know what, Aries? It's the best thing that could have happened. Okay, so let's look at Taurus. Taurus, the bull. Are you a raging bull or a silent bull chewing the cud today? Let's have a look. Well, actually, I'm Taurus, and I don't know about any other Taurians out there, but I'm having a week of things going wrong with white goods, as we call them. You know, washing machine, dishwasher. Here in the hot countries that I live in, the air conditioning, things like that. All these things are going wrong, and I'm having a horrible job trying to get people in and sort it out, and it's quite exhausting. And I think this new moon will see that tide turn, because the new moon in Cancer is in the part of the chart for Taurus that can be about these everyday things, technical things that just break down and don't work. And my sense is that if there are others of you out there like me going through this, it will sort itself out leading up to Saturday, and by next week things will start to have kind of settled. So that's good for us Taurians. Right, Gemini. So I think some new ideas and different ways of looking at how you sort out your finances, Gemini. There is an element of you're not quite sure of what the best move is, but what I want to say to you, Gemini, is trust your intuition on this one, because Neptune is in a really good position to this new moon, and it's in your 10th house of business and kind of career direction. So I think it's actually giving you the opportunity to trust that gut instinct, not something that's always easy for Gemini, because Gemini does tend to overthink and just stay up here in the mind rather than go into that gut feeling level. So bear that in mind, Gemini. Okay, so now we move on to Cancer, where of course this is your new moon, Cancer, and it's in your sign. It's in your first house. And how do I feel about this new moon for you? Well, I think I'm just going to bring in one of the other aspects, which will be, of course, that Pluto, that is retrograde in your 7th house of relationships, that relationships that have been going through quite tense times, and it's been quite difficult, that this will give a new lease of life. Either you decide to just cut the cord or cut people away that really you don't need to take with you any further down your path. So because new moons can be these kind of transformations as well. It's not just a full moon that brings in those kind of endings. It's always going to be bringing something new in. So I think for you, Cancer, it's very much for you about relationships. So Leo, okay, Leo's out there. Okay, so this new moon for you is in that area of your chart which is very much about the inner you. And I wonder whether you've been looking back a little bit to the past and kind of thinking about how things used to be, or where you are now and how far you've come and how much further can you go, and am I past it? All those kind of things we think at all the different ages that we get to in our lives. You know, we think of it at 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. And I just feel that this new moon will get you over a kind of emotional kind of bump that has been just churning away inside and holding you back a bit. So I think it's a pretty good one for you, this one. Virgo. So, okay, well, something that you are really feeling quite hopeful about with regard to relationships or a significant person in your life really has a good chance of kind of manifesting or sorting itself out. So you just need to look at what else you might need to, you know, work with that law of attraction a bit to sort of set the intentions of what you want to bring into your life on that kind of romantic level. Because Virgo, your dreams have every chance of coming true. Libra. So Libra, this new moon is about you revamping your kind of day-to-day working routine. If you're not working, it's just your day-to-day routine. It feels as if you really need to sort of, I don't know, blow the cobwebs away, bring in some fresh air, and it feels to me that you have some dreams and ideas that you would like to initiate to change certain ways of being. Maybe you've been stuck in a bit of a routine that you really are stuck in, and you just think, I can't do this anymore. I want it to change. Well, this new moon brings you the opportunity to make and initiate those changes. Okay, so now let's move on to Scorpio. So for you, Scorpio. So, are you thinking of or dreaming of a little trip away with a romantic partner? There's something a little bit kind of, perhaps you have to be a little bit secretive about this, but there's just a sense that you could be thinking in terms of a journey, and it's connected with somebody that you really are rather fond of. Okay, let's move on to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, changes that you need to make to do with your kind of joint finances and how you sort out, excuse me, your living space. It may be that someone who lives in your household, maybe it's one of your, you know, sons, daughters, whatever, wants to move on, or someone who's been there through lockdown wants to move and go back to what they were doing before. And this new moon shows me that you just need to have an opportunity really just to sort of tweak the details of how you manage everything on some kind of financial level, and that you can transform situations that have been a little bit tricky and difficult. Can't be bad, Sagittarius. Capricorn. Okay, so this new moon for you is in the area of your chart connected with your close relationships. And it feels like there's a sense that perhaps the person that you would like to be spending time with is a little bit at a distance. So you're dreaming of how you can kind of manufacture or manifest some ways that you can connect, because, you know, you've got Neptune trining this in your third house, and the third house can be short journeys and communication. So there's something about that. But I also think, because I cannot overlook the fact that retrograde Pluto in Capricorn in your first house opposing this new moon is showing how you are transforming through a very close relationship. There's something about this relationship that is really helping you transform. How cool is that? Aquarius, this new moon is in your area of your chart that's connected with service to others. So what do you need to do, or what could you change in your day-to-day routine that could perhaps generate a little bit of income? Maybe you're thinking of getting like a part-time job or something that would just bring in a little bit of extra cash. And also, I think that there's a lot going on your inner level, on that inner soul level of yours, that can change. It's like you have to make the changes first, Aquarius. If you make those changes, whatever they are, whatever's relevant to you, then the rest can fall into place with that. So let's move on to Pisces, because for you, Pisces, this new moon is in the area of your chart connected with creativity, fun, having fun with friends and loved ones. And you have this retrograde Neptune in Pisces, in your house, in your sign. And I just think it feels like some dreams can start to come true for you, Pisces, through the energy of this new moon. If you are dreaming big, then this new moon is giving you the impetus to let those kind of creative juices really kind of come out in you, Pisces. And it's a game changer, is what I'd like to say. I really think it will be a good new moon energy for you, Pisces. So I'd like to say, because there we go, we've done the 12 signs, we've done the overview. Thank you so much, everybody, for following me, for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here, truly, truly. And as I say, if you want to catch up with this, because you've missed it, it will be on my YouTube channel as of tomorrow, and also you can catch it on Facebook. So in the meantime, I'd like to say thank you so much again, and I look forward to seeing you with the full moon, which will be via Gozo in the house, and that's on the, and I can never remember, it's something like the 22nd or the 24th of July, but there'll be there's an event, and you'll get the notification, so don't worry, you'll know about that. Okay, thank you so much, and I wish you a really blessed new moon in Cancer.